What's going on, everybody? Today is Thursday, April 18th, 2024. We're here to talk about episode 3 of the Challenge All-Stars 4. Yeah, this is a pretty good episode, I think. I'm enjoying the cast. Let's get into it. Excited for your thoughts.
Let's.
All right, my name is John Dunphy Stuckey, of course, standing Queen Laurel on this season. And I'm joined, as always, by my ride or dies, Mr. Kyle Petty and Miss Gina Morgino. And we're Strat Chat, your favorite reality TV podcast. You can find us on the socials at Strat Chat Pod. Go and find us everywhere on all the social media platforms. Throw us a like, a comment, a follow, subscription. Go over to Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Leave us a really nice review. We'd really appreciate it. All right. So let's get into episode 3 of the Challenge All-Stars 4. Any initial thoughts from you guys? How you liking the season so far? 3 episodes in.
I mean, I'm loving it so far.
Yeah, me too. I gotta say, 3 episodes in, I'm more excited about this challenge season than I have been about a challenge season in a while.
Well, it's funny because I feel like Kyle was the one after the premiere or whatever that said like this feels like old school challenge. And like for me, I think the reason why I'm more endeared towards this season is because it's simple. Like just strip it down, just like make it easy. Fine.
Yeah.
I don't need all the bells and whistles and the twists. I don't need all that, you know?
Yeah, it's funny you say that because I kind of feel like that. It's the same thing with Survivor. Stop with all the bells and whistles. Stop with all the twists and things like that. Let's just play the game that we came to know and love. And that's kind of what All Stars gives us. And that's what I'm enjoying about this. We're just playing the challenge. You know, yes, there's a little twist. You got to get your stars. You know, you got the middle group and you got your bottom group and blah 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 blah. That's all fine. I expect that kind of fluidity. But in terms of like all these extra twists, like power, conquest, and crap, enough. Like just stop it. Just stop.
Yeah,
it's a challenge.
Yeah. No, I couldn't agree more. Because like you said, there is the star twist, which makes things fun, but it's not too much where you know, where we have chaos and conquest and this and that, like you said.
Right. It still feels like the challenge.
It feels like the challenge. There's still a couple of things that can shake up the game and make it exciting, but like there's still a simplicity to it. It doesn't involve like algorithms and this and that. And
that was my next thing. Absolutely. I'm so done with the fucking algorithm. Like, get out of here. And I gotta say, like, I love the star twist. Because I still feel like we're playing a performance-based game, but you've also got like some of the social trickery. It's fantastic. It's fantastic.
Yeah, no, totally.
And to your guys' point too, I don't remember which of you was the one that first said it, but it is helpful that it's not the same people over and over and over again that we've been seeing for the it has felt like the never-ending season. The last like 5 seasons have felt like one long season, you know?
Right, but the thing is though, the only thing I do agree, but I would challenge it back just a shade that like you don't mind seeing the same people when you're putting them in a consistent situation. You know, because what I thought was always fun about the challenge is that you got the same type of gameplay every single time, and you got to see the evolution of people's relationships being placed in the same situation. So, like every time, you're like, oh, well, that's how that went. Not last time. Guess what? You're doing it again, and like, and you kind of get to see how that goes. And like by adding all these twists and all these dumbass people who are too scared to actually do things, like you're watching people who are not scared to make moves. You're watching people who are not scared to actually play the game and putting them in a situation that they can anticipate. You know, twists are fun as a viewer, but when you're watching people who are constantly like you're watching returnees play the same game, I want to see them being able to anticipate the next thing. So you're watching them plan, and it's interesting when it comes to fruition, and it's even more interesting when it doesn't. Like, oh, well, that's too bad. They're gone. I would have loved to see how that one played out. So, yeah, it's just better.
Yeah. And even to your point, I think you just mentioned about like having people in this cast that aren't afraid to like make their own moves and stuff like that. Like, just one example that I thought we got in this episode, like, obviously Rachel, Tina, and Veronica are super tight, but we're seeing Rachel and Cara form a relationship, and Cara went into the nomination in this, you know, saying like, I'll vote for Ayanna. I'm not voting for Rachel. And Cam was pissed about it, but it's like, what are you going to say to Cara? Cara and Cam are both, you know, legends. They're two of my favorites. Like, and like, they're gonna do whatever they want, whatever they think is right. They're not the type of cast, you know, that's, I feel like pretty much everybody in this cast is the type of person that's gonna be like, all right, I hear you, and if that works best for my game, I'll go along with it. But like,
but otherwise,
yeah. But tomorrow, if I'm saying two different names, it's too bad.
Nookies.
Yeah. So I love it. I just, yeah, this is one of my favorite casts in a while. So let's get into the episode. So obviously last time where we left off, Janelle had quit after some tension with Ayanna, which meant that Tina did not have to compete in elimination, but was still free to steal a star. She ended up stealing Avery's star.
Just lame. You didn't do anything for the star. It's hard to respect the win. That's all.
Sure. I feel that.
Right.
Whatever.
Right. Now, as a result of some of that, you know, because of Janelle leaving and Tina not having to compete, we did see early in the episode, it seems like Rachel and Ayanna have kind of formed a little bit of a relationship. And I think we actually saw that Ayanna said that she like follows Rachel's like workout stuff or something like that. So I guess that immediately drew her to Rachel, seeing her in the house. But Rachel was kind of telling her in this moment, like, hey, just kind of tone it down, because we're seeing now that there's a huge target on Rachel, on Ayanna. Which I'm not really surprised about, but and then the only other thing that I really had before the daily challenge comes up was, you know, Tony's unfortunate leaving the game. I hope everything's okay. It sucks that he had to leave. I was so excited. He was one of those people, like, aside from Cara and Cam and Leroy, Tony was up there for me as somebody that I was, you know, super excited to see come back as Tony time. So I hope everything's okay, because it sounded like there was some kind of family emergency that he had to run home for. So I just hope we see him again. But Kyle, how you feeling about Tony time?
His time is never up. It's always Tony time. The watch has just stopped. That's all. He'll be back. We're not done here. We are not done here.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, like, obviously. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Gina. Go ahead.
No, you go first. I was going to go off.
No, I was just going to say that, like, Tony is the kind of guy that, like, I'd love to see back, because I'm happy he's getting a second chance. Like, he definitely, you know, there were moments in his past where, like, he butted heads with people. So, like, coming back now, seeing him back with a family and everything, seeing how he's changed, like, I really want to see him compete more. And he didn't do anything on this season that was like bad behavior. They wouldn't want to bring him back, and he clearly wants to come back. So he better be back. That's all. What do you got, Gina?
Oh no, I was gonna say, I unfortunately, like, just before we went live last week, had read that in a spoiler that, like, that whole, like, thing went down. And first of all, it was so sad, because last week Kyle was he was talking the whole stream about how excited he was to see Tony play, and I was like, oh no. Like, just knowing that this was coming. And then I had the thought, because we were talking in the group chat, like, right before we drafted, about how we didn't know how this whole, like, Cyrus thing was happening, because he wasn't really on the cast list, but also kind of was on the cast list. And I had the thought to myself, oh, we should offer up to Kyle in the draft that because Cyrus is the replacement, we should just swap them in the draft. And now Kyle gets Cyrus. And then the end of this episode happened, and I said, I'm just gonna pretend I never had that. I'm just gonna go past it. It never happened.
You know, that's funny. I had the same thought too. I said, you know what? I should just get to just absorb Cyrus, but I don't really have any more right to Cyrus than I guess John would have for the Janelle walk.
Sure.
Except that Cyrus was
he was a direct replacement for
right. No, yeah. I would have absolutely accepted that. I would have had
slightly more of an argument in my favor, but I didn't feel good about pitching it. But if Gina would have pitched it on my behalf, then I would have, like, really.
No, I absolutely had the thought, like, last week. I was like, all right, I gotta get my statement ready, and then this episode happened. I said, never mind.
JK.
Do you think that because of how Tony and Janelle both left, I mean, I know I guess it is different. No, I'm wrong. It's different because Janelle chose to just leave. Tony had something that he felt he had to go and be
He
at
was
home
kind of
for.
pulled. He didn't really have a choice.
Right.
Mhm.
So my question was gonna be like, do you think that, obviously Cyrus was there waiting in case they needed an alternate. Like, should they have brought in an alternate for Janelle, or like, do you think that they couldn't have done that because Janelle was already going to elimination? So it's like totally different situation. Like, I don't know. Do you cancel Tina's elimination and get a replacement in there or something? Like, how do you handle that?
No, I don't think you cancel it because Janelle walked for a game reason. Now, I did read the comments that was on our YouTube that there's a lot more that we didn't see, and that apparently Ayana had made some racist comments or something like that kind of fueled Janelle's exit. That the rumors centering around who Janelle was targeting was race-based. And if that's the case, I mean, obviously that kind of gives a lot more credit and weight to Janelle walking.
Mhm.
So she definitely looks like a whole lot less of a punk for that move. But you still did leave for a game reason where Tony did not. So I don't know. I don't like how Tina got her stars. I think it's whack.org, but I get it. I get the difference between the two.
Mhm.
Yeah. But all right. So one other little interesting thing with this whole Tony leaving was obviously Tony made it a point to pull Nicole aside and say, listen, I have to go home. I have to take care of something. So apparently they're very
What was
tight.
that? Yeah, what was that?
Nicole. Yeah, they're very tight.
Shock.
So Nicole was very upset about Tony's departure. And she found a source of comfort in Laurel. And we see that, Nicole and Laurel they didn't start off great, but somehow here they're coming together, which is making Jay very nervous, because he's apparently very close with Nicole as well, and is worried that seeing Nicole and Laurel interact, what is this going to mean for his game? Because he knows how up and down their relationship could be. So maybe something interesting, how Tony leaving could still cause a little bit of a ripple effect. Maybe it would be interesting if Tony never left, if maybe Laurel and Nicole never came together in this way. You know what I mean? So him leaving could have been causing a whole bunch of drama in this season, which is, I don't know, kind of an interesting thought to me.
Yeah, I was annoyed with Jay in this moment when he made that comment, now Nicole and Laurel, I gotta deal with this. Bro, you ain't gotta deal with nothing. You ain't involved. It's Nicole and Laurel. What you talking about? Oh, I gotta deal with this.
I agree. I agree.
Shut the hell up.
I agree. I do just think
so irritated.
I think it could be some entertaining stuff though. If Laurel and Nicole start getting messy and Jay trying to be like, Nicole, just chill.
I'm gonna get so annoyed. Get out of everybody else's business. They have a relationship that predates you and has nothing to do with you. All right, when you're talking about the romance between two people, even if it's messy, get out of the way. Let them be adults and handle it. And now I gotta deal with this. Oh, we're so sorry, Jay. We're so sorry that Nicole and Laura have a history. Just shut up. So annoying.
Damn.
Oh man.
I thought more people would be on my side with that one. I'm surprised at your reaction.
Really? No, well, I mean, listen, I don't disagree with you. I just feel like I don't know. There are what? No, it's not that I don't like or dislike them really. I guess I just feel like I don't know. Well, I don't know how close him and Nicole are. They're clearly working together if he feels this way, and I don't know. Maybe they're close enough friends that he feels like he's closer with her now than Laurel, and maybe he feels like she's going to get hurt if she starts trying to get back with Laurel again or something, and he's trying to protect her, and he feels like it could also negatively affect his game. I don't know.
I hear that, but if you're an actual friend, you wouldn't pose it that way in a conversation that you're having basically with yourself. It just felt like insertion, and not in the fun way. It was just oh, well, I wouldn't say that about my friends. If I was on a show and playing this game with other people, even if I thought it, I wouldn't go to a confessional and say, oh, now I got to deal with this. I would just support my friend and whatever it was and just be quiet. And if I did get roped in and it was negative, then I would have something to say. But right now, it has nothing to do with you, Jay. So be quiet.
I get that.
That's
fair
all.
enough.
Quack, quack.
Oh, Natalie has an interesting comment here. It says, there are rumors out there that All Stars 5 is going to have people from CBS and other networks and people from Final Reckoning. I haven't seen any of these rumors. Liz is excited about Final Reckoning, but not other CBS people.
Yeah, me too, Liz. The hell out of here, CBS people. Y'all played
Yeah,
wrong.
keep that its own thing. Yeah.
Yeah, get out of here. All Stars, you need to play a few times before we call you that.
Yeah.
And even if you didn't play a few times, you got to let some time be in between your times. This is supposed to be like, they call it All Stars, but we definitely get people who maybe only played once or twice. But I feel like the whole theme here is OGs. If you're on CBS, you ain't nobody OG. That was only 2 years ago. Let's sit down, child. All right. Let's see some hair on your chin. Right?
Yeah.
Grow up.
But all right, let's get into this daily challenge. So this is where we saw Cyrus introduced into the game, replacing Tony. And this daily challenge was Domino, motherfucker. All right. So this was played in pairs. We had 11 pairs. So there were 11 sets of dominoes. They were kind of like these domino tracks that all led to this circle in the middle that had a common domino that everybody would use as their endpoint. And then they had 10 other dominoes, each pair, that they had to line up in correct order. The fastest team to complete this challenge would be the winners. They'd be safe. If they had a star, the star would be safe as well. The bottom 5 pairs were our losing group, and everybody else that finished between the winners and the bottom 5 groups, they were our just that middle group that decided who would go into elimination. So we also learned in this that TJ told us it would be a double elimination. So that would be a man and a woman going home in this episode. What did you think of this daily challenge? Did you like this one? Thought it was pretty fun.
I liked it.
It's all right? Whatever.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, whatever. Not the most exciting thing to watch as a viewer because I can't really see the entire thing. So I can't really gauge your progress, but it was fine.
Yeah, I agree.
It was fine.
And yeah, great performances from Avery and Adam. They took home the win in this daily challenge, and we had Adam keeping his star nice and safe. Avery would have been keeping her star safe if it hadn't been stolen last episode, but yeah, still, honestly, like, she put in the performance to earn the star, and now, even though her star was stolen, she put in another winning performance. So Avery, I think, is still looking pretty strong, and Adam, I'm very impressed with. Our losing group was Ayanna and Cyrus, Rachel and Brad, Kifla and Tina, Derek and Veronica, and Flora and Leroy. That was our bottom group. Leroy, I got to tell you, he's been in the bottom a couple of times now. At least twice. So I'm nervous about that. But I don't know. We'll see. So yes, back at the house. Back at the house, we started seeing more conversations about Ayanna. There was one in particular where Brandon, Jasmine, and Flora were talking about how they heard Ayanna saying on the field during the daily challenge that Ayanna wanted to get Leroy and Cam out, and that now that Leroy's in the bottom, this is an opportunity to break them up. Obviously, Cam and Leroy have a ton of friends in there. Nobody's voting them in, especially this early. So, and people were describing Ayanna as spiraling, playing very sloppy. And Jasmine shed some light. Apparently, Jasmine and Ayanna are actually pretty close outside the game, have kept in touch. Jasmine has been someone that Ayanna has called when she's been upset about things to vent to and cry to. But Jasmine straight up says in this episode that Ayanna is just a toxic player in this game. I've loved her outside of here and been happy to have her in my life, but she can't stay in this game. I don't know. I wish we were seeing more of all this chaos that Ayanna was causing, because I feel like we've seen some of it, but not all of it. And it's just, I'd love more context into what everybody else is seeing.
This whole thing kind of got out of control so quickly. I don't really remember what it was that Ayanna said. She definitely made a comment that oh, people are looking to break them up. because how one votes, the other one votes. But did she actually say that she was actively looking to get them out, or was she just acknowledging the fact that they were a threat and that others thought it? So I didn't have time to go back and rewatch the first time that conversation happened,
Mhm.
because every time they recapped it, they didn't show that part of it. But I feel like the first time this conversation happened, because what it was Ayana and was it Brandon? Um, I feel like she said a little more, and then when they replayed it, the conversation was shorter. Um,
Mm.
but for her to just say, "Hey, oh, Kyler's here with the information." No, she did not actually say she wanted to, but she said that people are saying this,
Mhm.
which maybe it's just too soon to ring that bell, but she's not wrong. I mean,
I also think that, especially after what happened with Janelle, like if Ayana's saying anybody's name, people are going to take that as if she wants them out immediately. Like Janelle was going into elimination. Ayana causes all this chaos to the point where like Janelle quits, right? And then like I just feel like now she's bringing up Cam and Leroy. Of course, people are going to say, "Oh, she's trying to bring up their names now. She's trying to get them
mhm,
involved in all this
mhm.
drama and chaos." Like whether she intended to like try to get them out immediately or not, like it's not going to be good for their game, and could potentially lead to somebody like Leroy being out right away.
Mhm.
Even if she didn't intend for that to happen. I don't know.
Mm.
I just feel like anybody's name that's coming out of Ayana's mouth right now, like it's not a good look. But yeah.
Mm.
So Cam actually, we did see Cam confront Ayana about this, about these rumors, and Ayana immediately started freaking out about it. Um, Ayana starts bringing up Jasmine's name too, and Jasmine goes back at her. They really started getting into it. Um, but what did you think of this like blow up in the house? We saw at one point Ayana went outside, was talking about how like all these lies were going on, but it feels like everything's coming from her. But we saw Rachel trying to kind of like console her, but I don't know. There's just too much chaos. I feel like around Ayana.
I feel like this is what it always is when Ayana plays challenge, which is why I kind of like her.
Yeah, is
Um,
she usually messy like that?
yeah, she likes to stir up a lot of stuff. Like she starts stuff and just kind of watches the show. I just think that people at this stage are a little bit in tune to it. So it's not having the same effect that it usually does.
Sure.
Not as effective. Yeah, but yeah.
Yeah. But yeah. So we had our nominations. Pretty easy vote for the men. Kifla and Cyrus were voted in for the men. And then for the women, the spread was a little bit more all over the place. Ayana got everybody's vote, though. She got 10 votes. Rachel got 5. Flora got 3. Veronica and Tina got 1.
Poor
Um,
Flora catching strays. She did nothing to warrant that. I mean,
I
I get
know.
it. Who else? If you have a relationship with somebody, but damn, poor Flora.
Yeah.
She's
Right.
just over there existing. She ain't bothering nobody.
What the hell did I do?
What the hell
Yeah.
did I do?
Now, so I brought it up earlier, but the whole thing with Kara voting Ayana and Flora instead of Flora and Rachel, it upset Cam. But I don't know. There's, and I get Cam wanting like people to like show support to her, because she made a comment like, "Oh, like Kara won't vote with me, but these other people that like I barely know that are working with me, they'll vote with the way I want."
Mm.
And I just felt like at this point, at least what we saw in the edit, Kara was the last person to vote, and at that point, it was already Ayana and Rachel going in.
Mhm.
Kara's vote wasn't going to shift that, so like, I feel like, from that perspective, I feel like Cam is still getting what she wants. Kara gets to do what she thinks is right to protect her star. I didn't really see why this was bad for either one of them in this situation. Like why Cam needed to be upset about this particular thing. But I don't know. Any thoughts?
I have two. if you're not stating that you're gonna, I don't know, if you're not voting the way that I want you to, are you kind of saying that you're not backing me? Like, what does that mean as my friend? Um, because you're not really taking a stand with me. You're not supporting the whole cause. But I also would love to rewatch that entire voting process because I also wonder, is that the order in which things happened? Simply because we're seeing the ticker on the bottom doesn't mean that that's how people voted. So, like, is that the order in which
You think
people
they edited
voted?
it
Right.
out of order?
Right. Well, that's what I was
I
trying to
wonder.
preface it. Yeah. No, and that's why I prefaced it with, at least from what we saw in the edit,
Mhm,
Kara
mhm.
was the last person to vote.
Yeah,
So at
what if
that
she
point, the
wasn't?
votes. But yeah, it could totally change. But
Because that would
I,
warrant then Cam not being happy that Kara didn't go the way she did.
right, and that's very fair. But from what we saw, that was the opinion that I formed. I felt like
Mhm.
Cam still gets what she wants. Kara gets to do what she thinks is right with protecting her star, based on how it was presented to us anyway. So
Yeah.
Liz has an opinion. So she was saying because they're close friends in real life, it was shocking that she maybe didn't vote the way that she wanted her to, which I see that. Like, I don't know. I feel like, yeah, even if it wouldn't have changed anything, if there is some kind of like a understanding of how this is going to go, like, yeah, it might not change anything, but just to show solidarity with your numbers, why not just make everybody feel more comfortable with where you are socially in the game, you know?
Mhm, mhm. But then do you want people to come out of that vote now saying, "Hey, Kara did vote for you, Rachel. It didn't matter, but she did vote for you." Is that could you see repercussions from that down the line? Like, how worth it is it? She's
right,
going in anyway. Do I really need to make a stand like this? Especially when you're expecting me to show support for a team that already does have eyes on them.
right.
Are Leroy and Cam really long for this world?
Mm,
Like as a pair? So do I really need to make this stand right now when the again the outcome is not affected? Assuming the edit did not change the order?
right, yeah.
Right.
I don't know. Like I don't know that I need to stand with y'all.
Right.
Y'all might be over next week. Or in Kara's world tomorrow. Like I don't know how quickly these
Yeah, yeah,
eliminations
yeah.
happen, so what am I supposed to do on Friday? It's only Tuesday. So I don't know.
Yeah. But yeah. So we had Cyrus and Keefla going in for the men, and we had it was going to be Rachel and Ayana for the women. And this elimination was called Down the Tube. We had a giant tube with a giant ball in it, and the players would have to push the ball and their opponent out of the tube. Well, I think they really just had to get the ball out, but
Mm.
if you're pushing the ball out, you're probably going to get the ball out too, in most cases anyway. And Avery and Adam declined to participate. They did not want to take the risk of going home. So we had Keefla and Cyrus first. And I got to tell you, Keefla, he hasn't been back since what, 1999? And he's looking strong. He is looking strong. Won this thing, yeah, 2 straight rounds and took Cyrus out. And Cyrus,
Cyrus played the game for 44 minutes.
I literally when he
One
said, and
episode.
this was, I think, truly one day because he said it in the episode. I was here for one day.
Yeah. Damn.
Like,
So rough.
Yeah, damn.
which sucks. Like, and I feel like we've seen Cyrus a few times recently, and it feels like he's always the person going in first and getting out. And I just feel like everybody was commenting about how it looked like he was really working out. And I'm just tired. I like Cyrus, and I'm tired of him going out so early every time. And I want to see him come back and stick around for a while. I don't know why he's always the first one thrown in, but
Always.
I get it more this time, coming in as a replacement, immediately coming
Right,
in.
It made
new
perfect
here.
sense to me.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and and immediately coming in one of the bottom pairs, but Just feel like this always happens. I hate it.
Not wrong.
Then up next, we had Rachel and Ayanna. Rachel took this in 2 straight rounds, sending Ayanna home. So Ayanna is eliminated. Keefla stole a star from Brad. And then Rachel stole a star from Tina because
She didn't deserve it, no way.
Yeah. She
Which
didn't deserve
I
it.
didn't realize until this that, like, I thought if you already had a star and you won, you had the option to steal on somebody else's behalf. I didn't realize until she asked that, like, no, you have to take somebody's
Have
star
to.
away.
Yeah, it's like no matter what, by hook or by crook, you're stealing
I
a
thought
star.
it was like if you so choose, you may. But like
if it tickles your
have
fancy. Yeah, no. Yoink! But that's fine. Veronica deserves that star just as much as Tina did.
She's worked just as hard for it.
If not for nothing, maybe she deserves it more because she won it the way the game is intended to be played.
right.
Yeah.
So yeah, and hey, is this an example of Cara? Her actions paying off? Like Rachel didn't. She could have stolen Cara's star, because again, we know how tight Rachel, Tina, and Veronica are. This would have been a chance for Rachel to steal Cara's star and give that to Veronica, and now all 3 of them have stars. Not that they're going to stay with them all very long, because somebody's going to steal a star next time, but at least for the moment, you've given your whole trio of alliance a star with the chance to at least defend it. So I don't know. But yeah. That's where we ended off this episode. Was there anything that you guys saw in the episode that we didn't talk about that you wanted to?
No, I feel like that was really it.
Yeah, this one was pretty simple.
Pretty cut and dry.
Yeah. I agree. In the next we saw, it looks like the next daily challenge will involve some kind of maze that is on the side of a moving truck. So should be interesting. And then aside from that, it looked like there was just a whole lot of drama around or between people. Other than that, I don't really have any other specifics. They showed that maze on the moving truck, and then they just showed a bunch of people yelling at each other, and then it ended. So
bye.
Yeah. So where we stand right now with stars, we got Keefla, Adam, and Steve for the men all have stars, and then Veronica, Rachel, and Cara stars as well. And that's where we're at. So
okay.
Yeah, I guess we'll have to just see what happens next week. Any other thoughts before before we wrap up?
No.
I don't think so.
I'm satisfied.
Very nice. Well, this has been our recap of episode 3 of the Challenge All-Stars 4. We're not done tonight, though. We're going to be back in just a little while, a little over 45 minutes at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll be discussing the latest week in the Big Brother Canada Season 12 house. It was a wild week, movie night massacre. So we'll be breaking all that down. That's what we got coming up tonight. And then, of course, we'll be back next Monday to talk about Survivor 46. And that'll be at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. All right. So find us on the socials at StratChatPod. We're out there on all the social media platforms. Throw us a like, a comment, a subscription, a follow. Give us a nice review on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. All right. We'll see you soon, everybody. Thank you, as always, for hanging out. And, yeah. Lido.